Hello FPL managers and welcome back for another video. My name's Jack and today we're going over the knee-jerk reaction for Game Week 2 where we go over the most transferred in and transferred out players so far coming into the next game week. If you guys are new to the channel or are looking forward to the continuation of the FPL season, leave a like and subscribe. As always, have notification bells turned on so you don't miss any future FPL videos, and with that being said, let's jump into it. So first of all, we're going to go over the 3 most transferred in and 3 most transferred out players coming into Game Week 2. And then I'm going to go over a transfer watch list that I've made, which consists of 8 players who I've really liked the look of so far for Game Week 1. And a couple of those options should be good picks for some upcoming game weeks, as they do, or they are expected to score well or have some good upcoming fixtures. First of all, let's start off with the most transferred in players, beginning with Alexander Isak. He's already seen over 100,000 new owners. He picked up 2 goals in Game Week 1 in Newcastle's 5-1 win over Aston Villa. A very, very impressive home performance there. I think obviously a lot of managers are looking for those big FPL point scores Game Week 1 and trying to get those lads into their teams. Isak with 13 points is one of the highest scorers so far in FPL for Game Week 1, so I can see why he's attracted a lot of attention. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Isak right now. I'd still be looking to hold off him in terms of transferring him in, just based on Newcastle's fixtures not being the best for the next couple of game weeks. They've got Man City coming up, which definitely isn't an easy fixture. I wouldn't really be looking to get in an opposition attacker playing Man City right now, especially after Man City, of course, came off the clean sheet Game Week 1. They look very sound defensively, as they normally do. So I think for now, avoiding Isak or just holding off Isak could be worthwhile. Wait till Newcastle have some better fixtures. And also the other thing with Isak is that he is always a chance for rotation between him and Callum Wilson. Obviously, Isak did start as the lone striker in their game against Aston Villa, but he got subbed off around the 70th minute for Callum Wilson, who, to be fair, came on and then scored himself as well. So there is always going to be that selection headache there for Eddie Howe as to whether or not he plays both Isak and Wilson, or has to pick between one of the two each game week. And most of the time, they were getting rotated towards the back end of last season. So Isak is also a player with not great fixtures, but has still rotated chance as well up top for Newcastle. So I think for now, avoiding Isak could be worthwhile. Moving on to Rodri as well. He's another player that I'd be looking to hold off on. Typically, holding midfielders don't score very well in FPL, but of course, once again, he's come off those 13 points in Game Week 1. Everyone's looking for those big FPL point scorers. I would encourage people to hold off bringing in Rodri. He's not going to be able to produce these returns every single week, and he didn't score very many goals or assists last season at all. So to see him come up with a goal here, obviously very rare for him to be able to do so. So I think avoiding Rodri for now could be the right decision to make. Man City, yes, they have good fixtures, but there is so many better midfield picks that do have better expected goals and expected assist figures that will score way higher than him across the span of the season. So I think avoiding Rodri for now is the right move to make. He is a little bit of a transfer trap if you're looking to bring him in. He's not going to be able to produce consistent attacking returns across the season simply based on the position that he plays. Looking at the other transfer in that's very popular this week that I do quite like, it's Bukayo Saka. His ownership was already fairly high amongst midfielders, but he got himself a goal and 3 bonus points in Game Week 1, which has further increased his ownership. I think he is going to be a very consistent point scorer for Arsenal this season. Obviously has pens for them as well, which does give him an extra route to more goals. So I think Bukayo Saka, an extremely good pick. A great start to the season for him, picking up a brilliant goal in Game Week 1. He's got some really good fixtures coming up. If you don't have Saka in your team, I would encourage you to get him in fairly soon, as his price should be increasing pretty shortly as well. So I really like Bukayo Saka here. And with that being said, let's have a look at the most transferred out players now. Kevin De Bruyne, unsurprisingly, a popular transfer out after he left the game early against Burnley around the 20-minute mark. Got subbed off early with that persistent hamstring injury that he was dealing with at the second half of last season. It's come back to haunt him in Game Week 1, and Pep said in a press conference that he will be out for a few weeks. So obviously getting rid of De Bruyne is going to be the right move. He's definitely not going to be back for Game Week 2 and could miss Game Weeks 3, 4 and 5 potentially, depending on the length of the injury. So I think De Bruyne a good option to move out of the side. Obviously being 10.5 mil as well, it's very, very easy to get him out and get in a solid replacement, as you can afford most other midfielders in the game by downgrading him. The only one that you can't quite get to is Mo Salah. Otherwise, every other midfielder is available for you to bring into the team, and you will have money in the bank. So unfortunate as it is, De Bruyne getting injured, you will have to be transferring him out after after game week 1. John Stones as well, he was a very popular option in defence. He was the second or third highest owned defender coming into the start of the season. Didn't get the start for Man City away to Burnley in game week 1, and it was revealed that he had picked up a little bit of an injury in training prior to their game week 1 fixture. He is currently a wait and see for their game week 2 fixture. Right now, he is potentially going to be back for game week 2. Even if he is, though, there is quite a lot of Man City defenders now, especially after GW2 has just been signed. A very, very quality defender. It's going to be interesting to see what Stone's role is like, whether he's going to play in a centre-back or full-back position, or plays in a holding midfield role like he did do at the back end of last season. I probably would look to hold on to Stones maybe for one more week. Hopefully, if he plays, or if he's fit to play, then he does get the nod, and it is in the preferred starting 11 for Pep Guardiola for game week 2, as right now it is a little bit uncertain, should I say, because he was injured for game week 1. So I think holding on to Stones for now is the right move. Just a little bit frustrating that he wasn't able to get the minutes there in game week 1. And Harry Kane, of course, leaving Spurs. He is a player that has to be transferred out, as he's not going to be able to contribute anything, as obviously he's changed leagues. Another good thing with getting rid of Harry Kane now is that his price is likely to decrease fairly soon, so you have maximized team value by getting him out before his price drops, and you should be able to afford any FPL forward option in the game. A lot of people already have Haaland, so by downgrading Kane, you'll have a lot of money in the bank to be able to upgrade other positions. Let's have a look now at our Game Week 2 transfer watch list. These are 8 players that I really liked the look of in Game Week 1 that I think could score quite well in the upcoming game weeks. The first one here is Gabby Martinelli, chipped in with an assist for Arsenal in Game Week 1. It was very, very good to see from him. He was an extremely good point scorer last season for them, nearly notching up 200 points around that mark. So I think he's going to be a good option. Picked up the first return of the season. He's still got a very low ownership at less than 15% as well. So he's going to be a great differential in midfield, especially with De Bruyne getting injured. If you were a De Bruyne owner, I think Martinelli not a bad replacement either. A very low ownership, should be a great differential pick in the middle of the park. It was extremely popular last season, so to see his ownership start this low this time around, I think is a good sign that he could be a good differential pick to start the season. Crystal Palace away in Game Week 2, a very good fixture as well. I'm sure Arsenal will be keen to put more goals on the board after scoring 2 at home in Game Week 1. I think Martinelli is a really nice differential. Speaking of Arsenal differentials as well, Eddie Nketiah looked to be given the nod up top for Arsenal in Game Week 1. There was a bit of a toss-up who was going to get that starting position in striker now that Jesus is injured for Arsenal, but it looks like Nketiah at 5.5 could be the man. He was able to chip in with an attacking return as well in Game Week 1, so that should justify him keeping his place and keeping his starting position for their Game Week 2 fixture against Crystal Palace away. And to get Arsenal starting attacker at just 5.5 mil, obviously extremely good value when you compare him to some of those other popular Arsenal attackers in Martinelli, Saka and Odegaard. All of those guys are priced at 8 million and above, so to get a starting forward at just 5.5, extremely good value there. So I think Nketiah could be a great differential pick for the next few weeks as well in Jesus' absence, and seeing him get that attacking return gives me more confidence that he should hold his spot on that side. Solly March as well, he made a great start for Brighton, picked himself up a goal, which is good to see for Brighton there. He's got Wolves away, Game Week 2, a really good fixture as well. I think Brighton's attack is just going to continue on where it left off last season. They were one of the highest scoring sides last season in the Premier League, Brighton, and they made a great start against Luton Town, putting a bucket load of goals past them. Wolves away next week's a great chance for March to build on his good start to the season, and that is why I've also got down at João Pedro here on the transfer watch list. I love this fixture against Wolves away. João Pedro is on penalties for Brighton, scored his first one and won the penalty as well. Very good sign that he is going to hold his spot for Brighton. I definitely think he should maintain that striker role. Danny Welbeck got subbed off early before João Pedro as well, so I think Pedro definitely is the preferred forward in that Brighton attack right now over Ferguson and Welbeck. There's no reason after scoring in Game Week 1 as well that he should lose his spot, and Brighton do have a couple of good fixtures coming up in Game Weeks 2 and 3, and once again at just 5.5, João Pedro is extremely good value, and that is why he is one of the highest owned forwards so far this season in FPL, I believe only Watkins and Haaland have a higher ownership than him. Diaby as well, I really like at 6.5 in midfield. Made a great start by scoring on his Premier League debut for Aston Villa against Newcastle. It was very good to see him pick himself up a goal. Obviously, it was in vain as they did lose 5-1, but he was looking extremely dangerous in pre-season. He's carried it over to game week 1, getting himself a goal. I think him and Watkins could link up quite a bit this season. They've already found that connection one time in game week 1, and I wouldn't be surprised if they can do that once more, especially with Everton at home in game week 2, who were a side that did concede quite a few chances to Fulham in their game week 1 fixture. I think Aston Villa at home here against Everton, it should put a few goals past them, and I think Diaby and Watkins will get involved. Diaby obviously an excellent differential pick as well. His ownership is very, very low right now, so he could be a really, really nice midfield option at 6.5, and I wouldn't be surprised if he rivals some of those other popular 6.5 mids such as Matoma, Mbeumo and Eze for FPL points to start this season. Jarrod Bowen as well at 7 mil, another midfielder to add headaches to in terms of team selection. There is so many good midfield picks in FPL right now. Bowen making the case as to why managers should be selecting him as well. Got himself a goal game week 1. Chelsea at home game week 2. Definitely not the worst fixture. West Ham's fixtures do get better as the season goes on though. So I think Jarrod Bowen is definitely one to look out for right now. Maybe wouldn't look to transfer him in right away just because he has a tougher fixture run to start this season. He's got good predicted points though over the next 6. The second highest predicted points in fact of any player on this watch list with nearly 24, and is expected to score around 4 points for game week 2. So I think Jarrod Bowen, a very good option to consider in the team. He was excellent a couple of seasons ago, cracking the 200 point mark. His price has dropped quite a bit. I think Bowen is a very nice midfield, especially differential midfield option. Matoma, as I touched on earlier in the video, is a really nice 6.5 midfield option. Him, Diaby and Mbeumo and Eze as well, 4 really quality 6.5 midfield picks. Matoma got himself an assist in game week 1, which was good to see for him. He also featured on some bonus points for Brighton, so I think after making a great start to this season, building on a really good season last year for Brighton, he'll be looking to push on. Wolves away game week 2, as I touched on, for Brighton as the next fixture. A great chance for their attacking assets to build on their great start to the season. Brighton, an extremely high goal scoring team. I think March, João Pedro and Matoma could be a real attacking threat for them this season. And Alvarez as well looks to be a really, really good forward pick. He should be getting a lot more minutes now that De Bruyne has been injured. Should be out for a few weeks for Man City. Obviously, Alvarez got the start anyway, even with De Bruyne fit. So now that he's out, I think he's just even more likely to continuously start for Man City. Got himself an assist in game week 1 as well. When he is playing for City, he's very, very efficient in terms of getting goals and assists when he's on the pitch. So I think he's a really nice option. 6.5 mil to get a Man City attacker that should be consistently starting at that price is an absolute FPL gem. So I think Alvarez, a really, really good FPL option to go after early on in this season. Newcastle at home, saying that isn't the easiest fixture. Obviously, Newcastle did very, very well last season, but Man City's fixtures around this Newcastle game in game week 2 from game week 3 onwards are extremely promising. I think Alvarez should be continuously ticking over the goals and assists if he can keep getting starting minutes for Man City, which I just think is even more likely now that De Bruyne is out. So Alvarez, another excellent differential option in the forward line. Thanks for watching today's knee-jerk reaction for Game Week 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the watch list. Are there any other players that you've got your eye on to potentially transfer in over the next couple of game weeks? If you haven't got those notification bells turned on, make sure they're turned on, as well as we're going to be uploading plenty more FPL videos in the coming days. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.